have a correction.
Okay.
I'll second.
Should we
Second
second it
and
first? Okay, got a motion, second, go ahead.
Okay, my correction was on 2 points. G, about shared ride taxi operating contract, in which the vote was recorded correctly that I did oppose it, but it said carried 3-1, and I think it should say carried 2-1. So it's just a typo, probably. And
It
then
counts
also,
the mayor.
Pardon me?
It normally says 4-0. If it's
Okay.
carried
Oh, I stand
unanimously.
corrected. So even though the mayor didn't cast a vote, it's...
That's how the system counts it.
Okay, thank you. Then I'll let it ride. I just thought it was a typo. Thank you, Allison.
Not a
The same
problem.
thing was on the next issue. Thanks. Okay,
Yeah.
otherwise you do have my vote recorded
right.
correctly, so I appreciate that. Thanks.
Okay, we good?
Thanks.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Purchase of new portable radios.
Good evening, everybody.
Chief?
This is a continuation of our bonding for 23-24. This was already in the plan to buy these radios. The pricing is the Motorola Wisconsin cooperative pricing, so it's the best pricing we can get. Everybody offers this, no matter who we go with. So just looking for approval to continue to go ahead with the order of the purchase of portable radios.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion second to approve. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Claims in the amount of $1,913,876.
This is probably due that it's been 5 weeks since.
It's 5 weeks of invoice, yeah, okay. Move to approve.
Second.
Motion second to approve. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Quotes for the downtown accessible pedestrian signals project in 2024.
Hello.
Aaron?
Hey, this topic has come to you guys a few times, and now I think we finally got it figured out. So we'll be able to move forward if this is approved. So this is for the push buttons in the downtown area. And so we got final quotes from TAPCO. So the city would order the equipment and then have Neo Electrical Solutions do the labor. So the final quote came in from TAPCO for $49,749.20, and Neo Electrical Solutions for $57,200, for a total of $106,949.20. And we originally estimated about $100,000, so that fits very close to that. We would still be able to use the ARPA funds for that amount, and we would be making the upgrades at Cooley and Second, Walnut Street and Second, and Vine and Second Street. So the recommended action is to approve both quotes from TAPCO and Neo Electrical Solutions.
I'll move to approve. This is important for safety and
Second.
Motion second to approve. Discussion?
Oh, I just have a couple of comments. Thank you for your work on it, Aaron. I know that you were having some difficulty initially getting bids
Yes.
from people, and we certainly, the NEO group is local or operates in our area, so that's great. And I understand that generally this sort of equipment is always bought through TAPCO. They're the main supplier for it. So you've gotten bids that are in our budget. And yes, it is something obviously public safety has discussed. Our Public Works Committee about a year ago was allocated a certain amount of money. When we talk about ARPA funds, those are really COVID relief funds for people who don't know that have been designated to the city. And a certain amount was designated to a Public Works Committee, and this was an area that we chose to go forward with. We did have an interesting presentation. The state of Wisconsin has different regional educational organizations that give support to students that have particular needs. And the teacher, it's called CESA, C-E-S-A, who is the main teacher in this area for visually impaired, came to Public Works Committee and spoke to us about this need that we actually have 17 or maybe 18 students, so that would be K through 12 or in that age range, in the Hudson area, that she's training how to walk, walking with the cane and mobility issues for visually impaired. So she was the one that brought this, and a parent also brought it forward to our committee, and we just thought it was a serious and important, as you mentioned, Randy, very important for safety. So I just wanted to give that background and appreciate your work that you were able to bring that forward, because we were a little stymied last year about getting it done. So thank you for that, Erin. Appreciate it.
I've got a question. So it says the quote also includes replacing the existing traffic signal poles. Will the existing traffic signal poles be reusable, or will those be discarded?
I don't know, I guess if we'll want to keep them, they would probably be reusable in a different location if we ever needed them, but they'll just be replaced fully.
Okay.
Yep.
Anybody else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Hudson Police Patrol Officers Association side letter of agreement.
These next two items are in the same vein. There were some procedural items that we had to address. What this does is effectively it approves the adjustments that were made as part of the market rate study in the budget for our police patrol officers and our police sergeants. So if there are any questions, let me know. It should be pretty straightforward. Recommend approval.
Trying to clarify the impact on the budget from after what we did, Mike. Yeah, it's an additional 4%. Am I wrong on that?
It's that new scale. It's a 4% right off the bat. Yep. Just with like every other city employee. It effectively matches every single other city employee. But we have to do this with the unions.
No, I know that, and I agree with it, but I wanted
Okay.
to know why it came out the way it did, and then now it came back to us. But make it very clear that obviously staff is going to get that additional funds.
Correct.
So it was already in the budget, though?
Correct, yep. We had
So
already
it
put
was,
that as part of
it
the
was
budget.
budgeted, this piece of it just needed to be memorialized for contractual purposes?
Okay.
Anybody else? Well, I'm sorry, was there a motion on that?
Oh, yeah.
Move to approve.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Hudson Police Sergeants Association side letter of agreement.
Move to approve.
Second?
Motion and second to approve. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Letter of engagement with Market and Johnson in the amount of $15,900 to perform a property condition assessment of the potential public works facility.
Good evening, Finance Committee. Michael Mraz, Director of Public Works. I'll take the next two items on the agenda. As you know, we're working through the process of the possibility of acquiring a couple of facilities, one for the PD and one for Public Works Department. As we work through this process, now that the purchase agreement has been signed and executed, we have, as a city, 60 days of due diligence to basically perform a home inspection on these facilities. And due to the time constraints, I did reach out to Market and Johnson, who's done a bunch of work in the city for us over the last couple of years, just to see if they would be willing to help us out with this inspection period. And seeing that they were, I had them put together some numbers for us. And basically, it's reviewing environmental, it's reviewing structural, civil, HVAC, plumbing, you name it, electrical. And they would come in, they would inspect everything, they would give us a full report, so we knew as a city what we're getting into before we make a final purchase on the facilities. So with that being said, the first one is specifically for the Public Works facility that we're looking at in the stated amount. And once this is signed, then we would meet with Market and Johnson, go over the scope of the work and get them in as soon as possible. I think I covered everything, Mr. Johnson.
Yep, and we've already contracted with Market and Johnson for Public Works facility related.
Yep. So prior to, the site that we were looking at at Hanley, we did hire Market and Johnson to be our construction manager for that project. So they were already on board with us for that facility, and we're just kind of leveraging their experience and them being on board with that facility to go with the public safety or the PD department as well. So.
I just wanted to make a comment on that also, that last year, the Public Works Committee did receive bids for that position. We had a request for qualification, RFQ, and then there was a in-house committee that selected based on the bids from several companies. And like you said, so we have a track record with Market and Johnson, and they did go through that competitive process. Yep. A year ago. They've been on board. They also, I really am appreciative that they've already given you a little bit of advice on that one building in particular that's being looked at for Public Works. Could you clarify for me, is it correct that this doesn't guarantee that they're going to be the construction manager
Correct.
for this. This will be rebid again if the project goes through.
Yes,
Is that
correct. Yep,
Okay.
yep.
So we're making a commitment for, what, 15,000? Is that
Yep,
correct?
for the
Right
public
now.
works.
Change, okay.
And then one thing that I did fail to mention is this would be paid for out of 2023 CIP monies that we had encumbered for architectural and engineering for the new public works building. We had earmarked $400,000 for that building. So that's where we would pull the money from to pay for these two, LOEs.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second?
On a motion and second to approve, discussion?
We're splitting them, right?
Yeah, this is just for
Yes.
the first one.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Letter of engagement with Market and Johnson in the amount of $14,900 to perform property condition assessment of the potential police department facility.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second to approve. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Motion's approved. I don't have anything. Anybody?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion is second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. We stand adjourned.